meantime, for members of the military, the hardest battles they fight often come when they return back home. Though through the Milwaukee VA, one group of veterans has found an unlikely form of therapy, you might say, putting their issues on center stage. Fox 6's Carl Deffenbaugh shows it just might have saved their lives.
William Shakespeare wrote, "A man can die but once." Raymond Hubbard would beg to differ.
We have 4 good legs between us. We're made for each other.
Yes, there you go. Go, boy.
The way Raymond sees it, he's died twice already.
I was one of 2 casualties during our unit's tour.
Flashback to July 4, 2006. Specialist Hubbard of the Wisconsin National Guard was in Iraq, just a few weeks from coming home when he left his guard shack.
I had went out there that day because we flipped a coin.
That flip meant he was out in the open when an enemy rocket blew up 20 feet in front of him.
The doctor had his hand in my neck telling me to keep on talking to him because I no longer had a pulse.
Shrapnel tore apart his body, took away his leg, and left Raymond in a coma.
I had thought that I had died. I thought that I had floated over the funeral home in Delvin, Wisconsin.
Instead, life would not be that simple. Back home in Walworth County, he spiraled downward from morphine and Oxycontin to heroin and an overdose.
I guess the next day I woke up with tubes down my throat and handcuffed to the bed.
A decorated soldier, stripped bare.
For the pain to be as such that I didn't care anymore about my legacy, that was a revelation.
Yeah.
Some of life's scars are impossible to ignore.
Yep.
Other wounds, just as deep, lie below the surface.
This tattoo says healing, because I'll always be healing, but I'll never be healed.
Carissa DiPietro's battles began the moment she joined the Army.
My purpose now is to tell my rape story. You know, I was raped by my recruiter.
That man promised to make her life at Fort Bragg a living hell.
Teddy, you ready?
But a few years later, a meeting with her lieutenant colonel was far worse.
My daughter, Ashley, was killed. They didn't have all the details yet.
Carissa's ex-husband had beaten their 5-year-old girl to death.
And he picked her up and he threw her in the bedroom, and she hit her side on the bedpost. And that's when she slowly started passing away.
She cried at the funeral and cried after the trial. And then the tears stopped for years after that.
I'd go to the cemetery, I'm like, okay, cry. Cry, you're supposed to feel bad, and then I'd hate myself for not crying.
Crippled by a grief she could not express, Carissa barely left her room.
My kids wanted to spend time with me, they'd eat dinner in bed with me.
Until she saw a flyer at the Milwaukee VA for something called Feast of Crispian.
Hope that will be like the entering. It was literally life-changing. I realized I was missing the camaraderie of the military.
Mama, mama, can't you see?
Far from the deserts of Iraq,
What the Corps has done to me.
the mountains of Afghanistan,
Put a rifle in my hand.
or the jungles of Vietnam.
Fall behind and kill a man.
America's wars of the past 50 years
If I die in a combat zone,
are still playing out
box me up and send me home.
on a basement stage at UWM.
Oh.
But the weapons in this fight are the words of William Shakespeare.
Thus hath bestirred thee. What's amazing to me is that it's still relevant today, those words from 400 years ago.
Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Feast of Crispian is a nonprofit organization where professional actors use the bard's language as therapy
The innocent sleep.
to unlock deep-seated trauma and
The
pain.
raveled sleeve of care.
So there's a scene for whatever situation you're going through.
It's light.
Maybe say things about getting drunk
and take a punch at the chaplain.
and losing your stripe by using Cassio's words to say them instead of your own.
Reputation, Iago.
And in the safety of this space, maybe share some of your own words, too.
Yeah. There was some question that they asked, and I said I was raped by my recruiter. And it was just something I haven't said since 1999.
I haven't told my husband, I haven't told my therapist, and they tell us.
When they tell their stories, it's as if that weight gets spread around by everybody who's hearing it.
This crowd.
And now, a wider audience than ever before will be listening.
These aren't people pretending to have lived this. These are people who've lived it. And that's a very different sort of thing.
I came back with guilt, shame.
With the backing of the Milwaukee Rep, they're hosting the first ever National Veterans Theater Festival.
20 feet high.
A series of shows that puts the spotlight on the vets' own experiences in their own voices.
It's given me more of a sense of my calling and why I've died twice and coming back.
You give them themselves as well.
Feast of Crispian gets its name from a speech in which Shakespeare coined the phrase "band of brothers."
In wartime, you're fighting for the person to your right and left.
There are still battles to be fought.
In order to take that away.
I'm on that stage for all those others on stage with me.
I carry with me the women who were raped by the same man after me. And
Demons to face.
that we got no justice. I have a friend that says every veteran needs a platoon and every platoon needs a mission, and I didn't have any of that. And with Feast of Crispian, I found that.
But at the end of this mission, there is only acceptance and applause. Carl Deffenbaugh, Fox 6 News.
So powerful. Carl, thank you. The National Veterans Theater Festival runs Thursday through Sunday at the Milwaukee Rep with performers from all around the country. Feast of Crispian show and Come Safe Home will be the opening act on Thursday. We have a full schedule for you if you're looking to get there. It's right on our website. Just go to fox6now.com. It was so moving just seeing that little bit of it, wasn't it?
It's that famous scene from Henry V that is just so powerful and it's so healing as well. So we wish them well. Break a leg on your performance.
Yes.
Milwaukee